and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. Hey, Nebraska, this is your moment. Love Nebraska is already making noise on the court, but they're still missing one thing, a nickname. That's where you come in. Love Nebraska is giving fans the chance to submit the team's official nickname. Fans will then vote on the finalists later this season. Head to lovneb.com/nameyourteam to submit your nickname and get in the game. Submissions end on February 22nd. Name your team, shape the legacy.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. February's cream cheese flavor is white chocolate raspberry. Pair it with a strawberry cold foam. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra-premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day, because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket Sports News go now.
This is Nick Whyman with your sports update. The number 9 ranked Nebraska softball team opens its 2026 campaign at Roadrunner Field in San Antonio, Texas at the UTSA Invitational this weekend. The Cornhuskers will play 5 games over the course of 3 days, including 2 games on Friday, 2 games on Saturday, and 1 game on Sunday. On Friday, February 6th, Nebraska softball plays Washington at 1 p.m. and number 1 ranked Texas at 6 p.m. Both of those games can be seen on ESPN+. 5 individuals will make up the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026. Those 5 members of the class of 2026 are Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and Roger Craig. The 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival is scheduled for August 6th through the 9th in Canton, Ohio. The San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams will play the first NFL regular season game in Melbourne, Australia during the 2026 season. The game will be played at the iconic Melbourne Cricket Ground and will be the first NFL game played in Australia. The game will be one of 9 international games played during the 2026 season. The NFL also played games in cities like Paris, Madrid, Mexico City, and London. And for all the latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's been a busy day in sports. A lot has happened while you were up to your eyeballs in work. Catch up on what went down in Nebraska athletics, college sports, and your favorite pro sports leagues. This is Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Sponsored by Canopy Street Market. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
How's everybody doing? Late Night in Lincoln, live with Nick Whyman. Harrison Arns joining me here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Harrison, how is your evening going? It's not freezing outside. Is spring here? Is it too early to admit that spring is here?
Well, I think we can say Phil sucks at the groundhog. He gets it wrong every time. Yeah. He came out and said, we're going to have winter. And then immediately, like 5 days after, it's like, buddy, it's 65 degrees here. And it's going to be in the 70s on Monday. We'll go back to cold eventually. But yeah, I'm not I'm not worried about it. This is fantastic.
This would be a perfect day to golf. Tomorrow will be a perfect day to golf. Old School's gonna be out there.
Yeah, they will be.
They'll be live tomorrow remote. That's awesome to see. And they picked a perfect day. They could have been last week when it was chance of snow, maybe some rain. No, that is perfect. 402-464-5685. Nick Whyman, Harrison Arns, rocking with you I'll be here for 2 hours. Harrison here for one more hour. He paid his dues already. If you're watching on Facebook, X, YouTube, or Allo Channel 9, so we'd love to chat with you. We had an awesome time last night. Like, it was maybe a top tier evening on a Wednesday evening, I will say. You missed out, Harrison. You leave, and then the party got started.
Well, joke's on you. I got to watch a lot of the crazy finishes because I got obviously I was driving home and I was listening because I had to stop for gas, so it took me a little bit. And by the time I got on the road heading home, I'm listening to Nick Whyman, and all of a sudden it's like, what's going on in this game with Portland right now? And Portland pulls off an improbable upset, defeating Gonzaga. And then you had the Oklahoma State game. Then you had the Minnesota game. I mean, there was upset after upset after upset, which is kind of great because it also shows Nebraska, like, hey, don't panic. This is basketball, because they're going to have Rutgers coming up here. A little message, like, can't take anybody lightly. And also, it shows the fragility of like what the top 10 teams still are. Like, you can be dominant, but hey, you can run into a hot Portland team.
I mean, in Portland, they were not hot going into the game. Did you see that their previous two games before?
Weren't they like 10-14?
They were 10-14. They beat Pacific earlier in the year. However, they lost 73-51 to Pacific.
Yeah.
That not only that, that's a bad loss. They lost 104-74 to Washington State on Saturday. Those two games. And then they turn around, host Gonzaga, and win.
And it wasn't even like they just pulled it out. It was like they controlled the game.
So I remember I went to break, came back, and it was they're up 7 or 8 points with like 30 seconds. I was like, they're going to do this.
Yeah.
They're really going to do this. And they did it. And it was the upset heard around college basketball, maybe the upset of the season.
I think so. I'd be hard pressed to find something else.
And, maybe there's some time in the non-con, a mid-major school pulls off upset. We haven't seen a whole lot of that this year, and now you see that. And West Coast Conference on notice. Portland. You hear about their coach?
No. What's the story with him?
Oh, there's more of this. This is deep. So their coach had to play. They had the flu a week ago. So their coach had to fill in and play practice and be the defense for the drills. Well, he got hurt, and so he has a leg injury. And they were told him to not stand during the game. He was required. His doctors were telling him not to stand during the Gonzaga Portland game. Well, he was standing pretty much the entire game, and he has a leg injury. But team had the flu. Coach had to fill in during practice and help with drills. Beat Gonzaga after 2 straight losses. You can't find it. That's college basketball. That's the beauty of college basketball.
Yeah, that place was rocking too. Obviously, I went on YouTube and I was like, give me the game highlights as soon as I was able to get home, and that place was bumping. For that team struggling the way they were, they actually packed that place pretty good.
And they're not really a basketball school by any means. They play their baseball up there in Portland and other sports. But the pull off of that win against Gonzaga, they were lost the last 20 against them. Last win was in 2014.
They've only got 3 against them all time.
3-43 all time. This was the third one. They won the first matchup though, way back in before they were in the same conference back in the 1970s. So who would have thought? But that was a fun little story. It was awesome. I get why there were so many people chiming in because we were on at 11 o'clock, 18 hours a day, as we are here at 93.7 The Ticket. I had to
currently on 17.
I had to beat you to the punch this time, as that's a running gag, but. There were so many people, 9 time zone. There are time zones. There's a 9, it's 9 o'clock there in Portland. And there were so many people chiming in like, oh, I just stumbled across this. And hey, we're talking Portland basketball. And
no offense to Portland basketball, but to your point, I wonder how many post-game streams there were. And people are like, is anybody just talking about this that I can listen? This is iconic.
Or college basketball in general. And you probably Google something and somehow you land there, and that's how it happened. And it was there was a guy talking last night. He's like, I'm a grad from here. And when I first enrolled there, I had no idea they even had a basketball program.
Well, now you do.
Now you do. And you have bragging rights to Gonzaga. There's a rematch at the end of the month, by the way, in about 20 days.
If you're Portland, you don't want that at all.
Hey, you won the last game. You have momentum. You have a lot.
We'll see. Hopefully.
Season, there's a lot of season left for Portland. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl deep dive. We'll get into a little bit about the Super Bowl as that game is quickly approaching. But The NFL Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026 came out roughly an hour ago, but we wanted to focus in on one guy, Roger Craig. Long overdue, 3-time Super Bowl champ, and a Nebraska Cornhusker. And now he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But finally.
Revolutionary back, too.
Yeah.
Like, I know you got his stats pulled up over there, but he played fullback, and then played running back. And the one year that sticks out was 85,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving.
Yep.
At fullback, he did that. First time ever in NFL history, and that was kind of unheard of at that time. And he is such again, just kind of like a generational turning point for NFL backs. And then like Chuck Foreman is also kind of one of those guys who me and Raph were talking about trying to get him in there next. But yeah, Roger Craig, absolutely deserving. Some other names got left off there. Eli Manning. Some people were surprised by it. I know you weren't totally. Drew Brees, well-deserved. I think he definitely needed to be in there. But the Roger Craig to me was a no-brainer because, again, you can go through his 11 years in the NFL, incredibly durable. Towards the end there with any career, he really starts slowing down on the rushing yards, but it's more of a lack of getting the reps. Not that he's just kind of getting older and late in his career, but he was super consistent, like pretty much the entire way through. Not really any drop-offs.
The body of work when he was with the 49ers just says for itself.
Yeah.
Those 8 years he had with the 49ers. I mean, did it all. Super Bowl champion, awards. He was third in MVP voting, offensive player of the year. And this is, you know what I mean? He's playing like a hybrid running back, fullback position.
And you can catch the ball, and teams just didn't really game plan against that at that point.
And yeah, great 49ers team around you, and that's what you do. And that's what he did. Roger Craig is now the 6th Nebraska Cornhusker to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There's 5 other ones here. Have him down. Guy, the Champ Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we've heard about him.
Legendary.
We've heard about him a few times. Roy Link Lyman is another one. Bob Boomer Brown.
Great name.
That's a great nickname. I wrote it down. I was like, man, that's the one that jumped out at me. Just when you're called Boomer, it's an awesome name. Will Shields.
Yep.
Mick Tingelhoff, and now Roger Craig. That is the 6 Nebraska Cornhuskers to make the Hall of Fame.
It's been that long.
And Roger Craig should have probably been in
a while ago.
I mean, yeah, the body of work. You just look at the stats right now, and I see it. I go, oh yeah, that's a guy. That guy's probably a Hall of Famer.
Do you have any ideas to fix how they vote for this stuff? Because Raph's solution is like it's just yes or no. You don't have a system where you have to like if you give this vote here, you don't get to put it somewhere else. He likes to just like a yes or no system, and if you get 80% yeses, you're in.
That's valid.
And then you make it 2 days because like if you're worried about the time constraint, like just make it 2 days and make it a full weekend because the NFL fans have proven they're going to show up anyways.
Do you want it to be like because we all know who the finalists are, obviously. Do you want it to just be like insert name, yes, no? And it's you're not putting them all together and just pick and choose.
Yeah.
Because that's what Major League Baseball does, and you have to have a certain amount of vote. I mean, yeah, I would say, yeah. And you just say yes or no, and if you hit a certain amount, because they're guys, I mean, the Bill Belichick one is still going to be
talked about till we die.
And then people talk about if Tom Brady and everything like that. But guys like Drew Brees, probably a Hall of Famer, and he is. He is. Larry Fitzgerald didn't have the championships to win it, but he was unstoppable at his peak and unstoppable majority of his career.
Yeah, and he made a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and a Cardinals team. And that was a fun Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I remember.
Bomber.
And San Antonio Holmes catching that ball in the back of the end zone there. That was a fun one. You have, I think the system has its flaws. I think you just have to take the bias out of it because I don't know. There's always going to be some flaw. There's going to be bias with the people who are voting on it.
Do we just let AI do it now?
I don't think you can. I
don't know.
Now you're talking crazy, Harrison. We're going too far into technology. I still think people is the way to go. It's such a funky situation where I think you have to just go with no, get your biases out. How much, oh man, I didn't like this guy when he was in the league. So be it. If they were a accomplished player, they deserve it. Eli Manning, I think he is such a weird one because like he has the Super Bowl moments.
Yeah, like some of the most iconic, greatest.
And he is the quarterback of those games. The David Tyree catch, the Plaxico Burress game winner, Mario Manningham down the sideline, and then the other Super Bowl. I still think he's a Hall of Famer. I still think he is. I just think it's going to be kind of like a Roger Craig situation where we're waiting forever.
I think he'll get in there. It's funny because he was like, some people talked about him as like a first ballot, and then it's like, well, you'll definitely get in the next time around. And then, of course, now we're here. I think you'll get it eventually, but again, that's the part where you get to, well, you can't just vote everybody in. You got to really pick and choose. So I'm not surprised by it. I think he eventually will be. And if he is, I'm not going to be offended because I don't think he's, watering down what the Hall of Fame is. But that's the problems you run into where it's going to take longer for some of these guys just because, the finals that they were up against that year are really, really good, iconic players.
Yeah.
And then the backlog just gets bigger and bigger and bigger every year we do this. So it's going to be tougher to make the Hall of Fame early just because I think that backlog gets bigger every year.
Well, you want to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl? We can do a little deep dive because that game is coming up quick. It's crazy how fast the season moves. Like I said the other day, it feels like we were just talking about the Bills and the Ravens week 1.
I was thinking of like help me out. Who was the cowboy who spit on somebody?
Oh, it wasn't it was the Cowboys and Eagles. You're getting mixed up. It was oh my gosh, Jalen Carter.
Yeah, that's right.
That was
it was Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter, the
Dak
Eagles.
Prescott didn't spit on him. He spit down. And then,
that was the first legit play of the season.
So that's why I remember I went that was my first memory, and it's man, we're gonna have the Super Bowl. It's just all over.
Just 18, 19, 20 weeks fly by, and here you are. I remember people before the season, talking about Matthew Stafford being hurt and stuff like that with his back, and here he is. He played all the way until the final game, didn't miss a game at all, and was able to get the Rams. And he's probably the MVP of the NFL, I would say.
Yeah, I think so. Shout out to Drake May, phenomenal year. But what Stafford did, he's going to have the touchdowns. He's going to have I think maybe about the same amount of interceptions, but the more touchdowns for it, he's going to have the yards. And
yeah,
it's kind of hard to pick against him at this point. He hasn't, outside of a couple games towards the end of the year, he's been dominant.
Speaking about dominant, the Seahawks and the Patriots, they have, I look at the schedule, you look at the deep dive to the season, week 1 goes around, and the Patriots, people forget, they lost week 1. Do you remember who they lost to week 1? They lost week 1.
Oh,
and it's crazy the way both teams, how they've gone.
I want to say it was a really bad team.
It was the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's right. Raiders win.
So you look, September 7th, 2025, Patriots lose 20-13 to the Las Vegas Raiders. At that point, it's maybe the Raiders maybe the Patriots, maybe it's next year they start.
Yeah, new coach.
Maybe next year they put it together.
Yeah.
It's early reactions. It's 1 week. Any given week Sunday, they say. But after that, they beat Miami. They lose to Pittsburgh 1-2, and then they won every single game until December 14th against the Bills. So
hell of a run. That's why you don't panic in the preseason, or not preseason. That's why you don't panic early in the season
in September.
Because my Chicago Bears started 0-2 and they got blown out by the Detroit Lions, and then they won the NFC.
Exactly. North. The Patriots do that. They start 1-2, 1 win over Miami. It was a close win against Miami too, 33-27.
Bad Miami team.
Then after that, wins over Carolina, Buffalo, New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, the Jets, Cincinnati, the Giants, and then lose to Buffalo, then beat Baltimore, the Jets again, and Miami again, and here they are.
I will say that schedule, the more you read that schedule, it's yeah, I can see how you catch your momentum.
Yeah.
When you get that team. Now, credit to them because they've proven that they are legit by doing what they've been doing to get to this point in the Super Bowl. You can't say they didn't play anybody because even if that's true, well, now they have played people in the biggest moments and they still won. But I think it certainly helped them catch their momentum and get that belief because the football is a weird thing where you have to get that buy-in. And if you're not winning ball games, it's really tough to get the players to stay fully committed because they're professionals. I mean, they get into that business mode and if you're not winning ball games.
Any given Sunday, like you say, and there's so little difference between teams. There's difference between the really bad, but you look in the middle ground, like this year especially, you could see anybody can beat anybody. The Jaguars beat the Broncos that 1 week and everybody went on the Jags train. The Patriots, they beat the Giants. They go on they win that Monday Night Football game. It's all right, maybe they won't lose another game. And then turn around, they lose a high-scoring game against Buffalo and then win a tough one against Baltimore. It's any given Sunday. So with them, it's not the most daunting schedule, but they handled business and won games. That's all that matters. And then once postseason play came around, they answered the call, beat the Chargers, beat the Texans, and beat Denver in that blizzard. So that's how the Patriots got to the Super Bowl. The Seahawks also lost week 1. They lost to the 49ers 17-13.
Okay.
So at that point, you're thinking, most people thought, okay, the Rams and the 49ers are going to be the contenders out of the NFC West. And Sam Darnold gets signed there, okay, maybe a 7 seed, 6 seed, maybe. Nope, they were the number 1 seed in the NFC. And they started off that, beat San Francisco, or lost San Francisco, beat Pittsburgh, New Orleans, Arizona, and then lost to Tampa Bay. That is when Baker Mayfield got the first 4 weeks of the MVP voting.
Yeah, and he was deserving of it. He was unreal. Like he was the only reason the Buccaneers had any hope at some point was because Baker Mayfield at the beginning was just dragging that team to wins.
Baker won the September MVP award.
He did
at that point
by a landslide.
Emeka Egbuka was really good at that point too, and he kind of fell off at wide receiver, the rookie.
Yeah,
they had, and then just nothing really happened, and Tampa couldn't get anything. Then beat Jacksonville, Houston, Washington, Arizona, and then slipped up. Last loss of the regular season was to the Rams, 21-19 in LA. And then from there on, they ran the table, and obviously there's a lot of close games. Indianapolis was close. That was the one with that was when Phillip Rivers came out, and they made a long field goal to win that game. And then the next week was the Thursday night classic against the Rams when they went for 2 in overtime to win, which hasn't really been done since the new overtime rules haven't been established. Then beat Carolina, beat San Francisco. That San Francisco game is when I think everybody started to really kind of buy in because how they shut down the 49ers in San Fran.
And that was right after the shootout with the Bears. And I remember that was like the 49ers were like coming off hot, and everyone's like, Brock Purdy right now is playing his best ball, and then it's just immediately get dusted.
And then they did the same thing to him in the divisional round, 41-6. That game, I mean, they led from the opening kickoff, literally.
That's all. They could have just taken a knee every time after that and won the game.
Led 7-6.
Because they had 7. Yeah, I mean, just really crazy. And now they get a nice little chance well, never mind. I don't think they had any matchups with them this season. So this will be the first time those guys meeting up, Patriots, Seahawks. Are you like totally buying in that the Seahawks should just blow them out of the water? The spread's 4.5, so I guess blow them out of the water is appropriate. But
I'm thinking it's going to be a close Super Bowl for a while. I still think Seattle would be, I still think Seattle would be the team to go for, I guess. But I don't know. New England's been able to answer the call.
That's just it.
That's it. And has it been pretty at times? No. But they find ways to win, and that's all that matters in football. You just find ways to win. And if you can do that, people won't remember. There's the Trent Dilford led Ravens. They don't remember it from their offensive prowess and everything. They had a spectacular defense, and they won. And people are going to talk about that. This team, the Patriots, Drake Mason's going to make a couple throws. It should be interesting, though. I'm very curious with the attendance for the crowd because it's an outdoor Super Bowl. We haven't had an outdoor Super Bowl in a while. A lot of them have been in domes.
Yeah. But it makes sense. You get it in San Francisco.
Yeah, the last one they hosted was Super Bowl 50. It's been 10 years.
Crazy that we're already in 60 years.
60 years Super Bowl. They got to do something. I know it's a demo. They got to do something. Super Bowl 100 has to be like
put it in Australia.
Biggest dude. No, we could talk about that. We can talk about that later in this first hour, but that's a segment that I don't know. There's too many international games. I'll say that right off the bat. But Super Bowl this weekend, I'm excited. A Super Bowl is always fun. The hype I think has been a little less for this one though. I haven't heard a whole lot compared to other ones. Like last year, obviously Chiefs, Eagles, everybody was all on that one. The Tom Brady Mahomes one I think was probably the most talked about, hyped about one. This one, it's just kind of like, all right, these quarterback stories are cool. Mike Vrabel coached and won a Super Bowl. He's going to win one as a coach, but not a whole lot else. And there's a lot to talk about. Like we could talk all night about the Super Bowl, but we don't have enough time in the day here.
Well, I wonder what it's like. Nobody really hates the Seahawks or loves the Seahawks, and nobody really hates the Patriots or loves the Patriots. Like obviously you're going to find people that do, but around here, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like no one really, unless you're a Patriots or a Seahawks fan, I haven't gotten like super strong feelings about why I don't or do like this team. So it feels like a majority of the people I talk to don't have a dog in the fight whatsoever. They'll watch. It's the Super Bowl, but I don't think people are super locked into the results. I think people just want to see a good football game. And as long as we get a good football game, I'm happy.
It's all you can hope for. One little note out of teams in the Super Bowl. Offensive Player of the Year, Jackson Smith-Njigba wins it, and rightfully so because that guy is catching everything, and he probably put himself up there with some of the top wide receivers in the year. So we're going to go break. We'll be back. We're going to talk about a big weekend of Husker athletics, from anything from tennis to wrestling to basketball to softball, which starts tomorrow. We're going to really zone in on the Nebraska softball when we come back here on 93.17 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio, video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Blake Farm Outfitters, and we're all about equipping the modern farmer. Our team is Nebraska's go-to for precision planting, SurePoint liquid systems, Green Eye spot spray, and more. So whether you're considering an equipment upgrade, adding new tech, or just need a trained eye to service what you have, check us out. Creep on us at BlakeFarmOutfitters.com and get connected with our team of experts. We're excited to help you find what's next. That's BOECK FarmOutfitters.com.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down. The snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
With so much financial uncertainty, are you wondering if retirement savings will last? Markets ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Hi, I'm Edward Jones, advisor at Ryan Bach. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help you ensure you're prepared for the journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek. It's a new beginning. Stop by our office at 8380 Old Cheney Road, Lincoln, Nebraska. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Dinner and a movie? You've done that. Arbor Axe House has a date night deal that really hits. This Valentine's Day, enjoy a special rate that includes an hour of axe throwing for 2 plus drinks and koozies. Reserve your lane today at arbораxe.com. Arbor Axe House on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
The Black Crows are coming to Pinewood Bowl on Tuesday, August 4th, and we want to give you the chance to win free tickets. Tune in all week long for chances to win a pair of tickets each day on The Drive with me, Nick Sainert, and Aaron Davis this week only.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
Welcome back, late night in Lincoln. Nick Whyman here. Harrison Arms. We just got done talking about the Super Bowl in general. Couple more days. But before the Super Bowl, Nebraska athletics. There is a big weekend ahead. Not just in basketball. You know, men's basketball has their game in Piscataway Saturday at 11. Nebraska women have their game. Wear your pink if you're going to the game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Number 22, Maryland in town. Trying to get back in the win column. They've had a couple of tough losses to ranked opponents. That is one that, and it should be a night. It's right after the men's game. Game will be over around. Game will start at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Men's game's at 11. So if you have a full day of Husker hoops, there it is. There it is for you. But tomorrow, you have the Husker having the home Husker Invitational for track. Indoor, obviously.
Yeah.
Obvious.
Outdoor.
I mean,
is the outdoor done?
They start with indoor and then they make their way toward.
But is the outdoor like the actual track that they've been building for 20,000 years?
I don't think so. But as the season progresses, they start indoor and go outdoor, which is for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
very obvious.
Yeah,
reasons.
that makes sense. I just really want, I'm not saying the university needs to get this done. I don't know why, but I know they've been working on that track forever. And I've talked to student athletes, and it's like, yeah, it kind of sucks. My parents haven't been able to be at one of my single home meets yet. That thing's been in construction forever.
Yeah, you have that. And then tomorrow afternoon, first pitch, Nebraska softball, ranked number 9 to start the season. They're playing number 25 Washington at 1 o'clock. And then the big one, 6 o'clock, primetime, number 9 Nebraska playing Texas, number 1 Texas. Both games can be seen on ESPN+. Can't ask for a better doubleheader to start the season right there.
No, that's phenomenal. The men and women both do this, where they really load up early in the season. Like you see that last year, you really saw it with the men's team. This year, you're seeing it with the women's team. But I think that's good. I think that's the right move if you're Nebraska softball, because it's like you are that top tier. You should be with everything you have on paper. Like that's your party. You know that you're well more than invited. Like those are like the type of talent that is kind of next to your level, or at least we're hoping to, based off of what we saw last season. Arguably, you still got one of the best pitchers in the game, Jordan Fromm.
Got it right.
With the name change.
Yep.
So I'd imagine you feel pretty good, and you got a lot of depth, a lot of returning players. It's not like you got a bunch of new faces. You should feel pretty good about what you have heading into this, and based off of last year's results, I like this maneuver a lot. This is a great spot for the Huskers to be in early in the season.
Yeah, they have a lot of really good players. Obviously, one of the biggest transfers they brought in was Jessie Farrell. She's a catcher from UNLV. She'll be one to watch. One of the transfers they brought in. But Ronderville's got a really good group, and there's always a lot of hype for them, but it's going to be a lot of fun just to see, because they're not just playing their non-con schedule sweep through it. They're playing some really good teams. Like, have you looked at their full entire schedule so far this year?
Give me some hints.
So,
or not hints, but give me some highlights.
So I'll give a rundown here real quick as I get off this team. Reminder, they play 2 games tomorrow. They have a stacked weekend. Like softball, it's not like baseball where you can play usually 1 game a day.
Yeah.
They're playing Washington and Texas. The first, there's some games tonight. The first day of the softball season was tonight, like Texas Tech's in action, defending national champions. But you have Washington and Texas. After that Texas game on Friday, 6 o'clock, they'll turn around 3:30 on Saturday. They'll play Texas again. Remind you, this tournament is the UTSA Invitational, which is in San Antonio. So if Nebraska fans are making the trip down, there should be a lot of Texas fans who travel well, too.
Oh, yeah.
So that should be a very fun atmosphere for not only the Friday night game, but that Saturday afternoon. So break it down. You have Nebraska basketball, men's basketball at 11 a.m. You have Nebraska women's basketball at 1 p.m. And then you have Nebraska's 3rd game of the season in softball playing Texas at 3:30. So you have a full slate if you have a Husker, if you're a Husker fan. It's a good day to be a Husker if you're on a Saturday, just like that. You can wake up, have your morning coffee, go do whatever, and then you got games games galore. And that's just the gist of it. That's just the spark notes of it. Then they'll play UTSA that night at 6 o'clock, and then they'll cap off tournament play in the UTSA invite on Sunday at 10 a.m. against Washington again. And that's just the first weekend of the season. Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational. This is one of the biggest softball tournaments of the non-con season. They'll play LSU on Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll be on TV as well.
Is LSU ranked?
I have the ESPN's website. They don't have it all in, but
okay.
They're playing a lot of SEC teams, and you assume they're good. LSU softball has been good.
I just know. I figured it would be, but nonetheless.
Then you have Thursday, that same day, 3 p.m., got Georgia, which they're good too. Then Friday, 11 a.m., after those two games, you turn around Friday, February 13th, you play Tennessee.
Okay.
And then Central Florida, who's a solid team as well. And then Sunday, 5 o'clock, February 15th, against Texas Tech in Clearwater, Florida, to cap off the Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational in Clearwater, Florida. So that's just the first 2 weekends of the season.
Holy smokes. Talk about getting tested early. I'll tell you what, you go undefeated through that stretch, you might be number one already.
That's what's fun. That's what's really fun. That's a really fun schedule because you're playing, like you said, like you're playing the best of the best. And it's like early February. That's just the first 2 weekends of the season. There are a plethora of weekends still to go. After that, they go to California for a tournament. South Carolina, Hawaii, A&M, Seattle, Cal, and they play Oklahoma State. And then first home game is not until March 5th against South Dakota State. So pretty much a month on the road.
That's usually what it is, though, for obvious reasons. So that one's not too surprising there.
Yeah, that first week of March, it'll probably snow like 6 inches like it always does. I always get really excited because Husker baseball and softball is kind of around the corner. And then it's like, oh, it's going to be 15 degrees for a high after last weekend was 65 degrees. And it's like, man, that is tough.
I've always wanted like a Midwest Invitational early in the end of the year, just to be like, come to the Midwest and we're going to play in 15-degree weather, as long as it's not snowing, because if it's snowing, you can't see the ball.
Well, there's a rule that you can't play in college baseball. The on-field temperature has to be above freezing.
Yeah.
So
they wouldn't allow that, but I would love it. I think it'd be fun.
You'd have to somehow do something. I don't know.
You would. It's just never going to happen. I just like the idea.
Midwest Invitational, you can have it in like May, but by that time, nobody's in
Minnesota.
Nobody's in non-con play. And but they have such a fun schedule. And then even in the conference play, the Big Ten softball conference obviously is really solid. It should be an exciting year for them just because, obviously one of the best pitchers in the nation, maybe the best pitcher in the nation, probably the best pitcher in the nation.
Last year she was considered 1 or 2.
And then you're facing number 1 right off the bat. What a challenge. And it's fun because like Washington's a conference game to start the year. That is rare. Non-conference doesn't count for your conference slate, but it's in there. It's just because they're in the same invitational. And then after that, you have an old rival, an old Big 12 foe in Texas, who's number 1 to start the season. So, I mean, that's fun. And those games tomorrow, I'm excited. I will probably tune into both of them just because it's softball's a really fun sport. I was saying the other night that I think it's one of the more underappreciated, underrated sports in college athletics. I think tennis is up there too. Tennis is awesome. Those are 1 and 2, but there's also a lot of other ones who are really good.
Yeah, I don't know why tennis doesn't. I guess Europe has a really good pulse on it. Like you go over to Europe, everyone knows like who the best players are currently and formerly. Today here in the U.S., it's just kind of fallen off. But for softball, I will say I think people are starting to watch it more and more. The numbers have been climbing pretty dramatically.
So have you ever been to Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series before?
No, I have not.
I haven't either. I've always seen like the images and the crowds, and it looks like
it's a party.
Exactly. And it's like a smaller venue. It's not like the College World Series where there's so many seats. It's kind of a little smaller venue, but there's like people. There's like standing room only like in the outfield. And it's like this is wild. And it's like there's always like some rain, and yet there's still a packed house, and there's really good games.
Well, and the game moves a little bit faster too because you got that shorter field, of course, and you see potential for some more home runs. I don't know. It gets slept on, but I will say the numbers. I remember talking about it last year. I don't remember off the top of my head. But they're seeing significant jumps. And a lot of that's helped with social media. Of course, people are more aware of these players. And then on top of the game's just gotten really good.
And last year, I remember the Women's College World Series, Oklahoma had a comeback. Oklahoma last year was like on a really big win streak. They're always in the top 5 because they're just so consistent and so good at everything, every facet of the game. Moving off softball, though, you look at the weekend ahead. Also, along with that on Saturday, men's tennis, noon, playing undefeated, 6-0. great start to the year for that group.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
And they're playing Ole Miss, who's a solid team, at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Center, at the tennis center on Saturday. So not only mixed in with your basketball, your softball, your indoor track.
Also women tennis.
They're on the road. They have one tomorrow already. They play Wichita State. And then they're having that neutral one with Abilene Christian also there in Wichita too. And that's at 1:00. So
that's a lot of Huskers.
So from 9 to 5 on Saturday, you can get your Husker athletic sporting event. Pick your poison. There's choices across the board. You can go for all of them. There's so much going on, and that's the beauty of it, I think. There's just so much, and the more the merrier. Why not?
Well, especially because you like the odds of the softball team being good, so easy one to watch. The baseball team, not really sure, but you did go back-to-back Big Ten champs, so it's not like a team that it has some momentum, certainly within that program and leadership. And then, of course, for basketball, the women are good. You just want to see how consistent they can be. And then you get the men on Sunday. And obviously, you're just hoping to avoid 3 straight losses.
I laugh because I see a comment here. Our guy, GBR captain in the house here.
Shout out.
Harrison, are you an athlete at UNL?
Oh, yeah. I used to play a lot. No, not even close. I was C2 was my peak at Cedar Catholic. Shout out the Trojans.
I don't know where that came from. It just made me laugh reading that comment. I saw it and I was like, maybe no. Intramural at all? Intramural?
I did intramural down here. It was the worst. Oh, did you have to do the COVID intramural basketball? I don't know.
I did not during that, but I remember playing like intramural flag football before then, and it is what it is. Just a bunch of guys just going out there, played one of the lower levels, and just had fun with it. We were competitive, but we weren't like win or lose. It wasn't going to make or break or whatever. So it was just.
I had a lot of fun. Some games got competitive. I just remember during COVID how much it sucked because they were like, hey, you guys can play the games, but you have to wear a mask. So we were just like running up and down the court, sweating on each other, full contact, but we're all wearing masks. It was ridiculous.
Back to the Husker weekend. I mentioned that also, but you can even go past 5:00 on Saturday, actually. Men's and women's gymnastics in action.
Oh, that's right.
Men's gymnastics at home. They were in Columbus, Ohio for Ohio State last week. They are home against Penn State at 4:00. And on the other end, 4:00 in Iowa City, Nebraska. Women who were at home last weekend are at Iowa.
And the women just got a big upset not too long ago. I think it was Ohio State, or they have another one after.
They've had. Let me look at this real quick.
Maybe Ohio State was.
It was Ohio State a while ago. And then Sunday leaks into that. Men's tennis at 11 a.m. against North Dakota State, and then wrestling senior day 1:00. There's so much There's so much Husker sports going. That caps off your Husker weekend, and that's right before the Super Bowl. So if you don't want to watch 5 hours of pregame, go down and go watch some wrestling. Nebraska. Northwestern 1:00 on Sunday. There are just so many different choices, and that's just over the next 72 hours. It's kind of crazy to read that and just be like, oh, there's so much.
Yeah, and this is the last opportunity, obviously, to go to a Husker wrestling match. If they got Northwestern, on paper, it looks pretty good for Nebraska. I'll say that much. So if you haven't watched them yet, go check it out. It is senior day. They usually do something pretty cool and special. Again, if you haven't checked it out, just go there.
They got
inexpensive.
Caleb and Ridge were talking up on Monday about what senior day meant to them, and they said it was just they knew of the day, obviously, because it's on the schedule, but the emotions that go with it and kind of what it meant to them personally, and seeing all the people who showed out for them and all the people who have supported them along the way, whether they were your coach, their parents, teammates, and the fans in general, and just show up for them. Nebraska ranked number 5. That is at 1:00 on Sunday. So we're going to take another break. We'll wrap up the last hour here on Late Night in Lincoln with Nick Whyman. Harrison Arns also along with me. We'll be right back here on 94.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Dinner and a movie? You've done that. Arbor Axe House has a date night deal that really hits. This Valentine's Day, enjoy a special rate that includes an hour of axe throwing for 2 plus drinks and koozies. Reserve your lane today at arboraxe.com. Arbor Axe House on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
The Lincoln Stars are back at home this weekend as they take on the Youngstown Phantoms at the Icebox. Friday night is Revenge of the Sixth, and Nebraska Volleyball will drop the ceremonial first puck, with the force being strong, at 7 o'clock. Then on Saturday, the Stars and Phantoms go at it again with a 6 p.m. puck drop. 2 big nights of hockey, special teams, and nonstop action. Get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com and be part of the fun this weekend at the Icebox. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the top-selling Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to help blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide smooth energy so you can cruise through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
And we're back. Final segment of the first hour here on Late Night in Lincoln here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Just got done talking about Nebraska Sports Weekend, a loaded weekend. We could read that all over again, but it would take another 15 minutes because of everything that's on the schedule.
Yeah, I need a Kool-Aid IV this weekend.
Yeah, if you are a Husker fan, you have it all set up for you from 9 o'clock in the morning till almost 7 o'clock at night on Saturday. But there's a big thing going on that started opening ceremonies tomorrow for the Winter Olympics out in Milan. There's been a couple of notes of things I wanted to kind of go down with you. It started off with the lights going out in curling for the first mixed prelims, which is kind of
tough.
That's
tough look for Milan.
Very tough look. First impressions you have of hosting the Olympics in 2026, and the lights go out and there's a delay. Gets fixed. Okay. That's one thing. Finland, Canada. We talked about this off air. Finland and Canada, the hockey prelims for the women's tournament started today. USA getting a 5-1 win, by the way. Dominating win over Czechia. They'll play Saturday in the morning as well, 9:40 Central Time against Finland, which Finland is also top 5 ranked. So that's another good group play matchup. But Finland, I don't know if they will play this game, actually. I don't know. So Finland and Canada were supposed to play in their first prelim game in women's hockey. However, Finland is battling the norovirus and depleted their roster, and they did not play today. And they have rescheduled that game for next Thursday, right before the knockout stage begins. Rescheduling Olympic games is hard to do because you only have such a time frame. It's not like baseball where, it rained out. You guys play this game in July. We can schedule you for September. And now Finland's supposed to get a day of rest and then practice tomorrow and then gear up to play USA, who's coming off a 5-1 win.
But we're talking about the norovirus. No guarantee that's done in 24 hours.
Unless they somehow have enough players to play, I guess. But then again, it's like you want to be, the Olympic Committee obviously will make the choice. We'll probably hear about it more tomorrow because the other half of the other side, the other groups will play their games tomorrow. And then Saturday, USA currently scheduled to play them.
Well, you got to be careful about it, too, because if you let them play, odds are, there might be one or a few of them out there that even if they feel better, they're still contagious. And then if that spreads, and then if you end up with a norovirus pandemic in, the Olympic Village, you're in a major disaster.
So they've gotten off on the wrong foot. And there hasn't been a whole lot of hype for the Olympics. I've been asking around. Not a whole lot of people are like,
the Winter Olympics are always a little tougher to sell. So there is part of that.
It's still fun. You get a lot of cool stories. And obviously the story that has taken the Olympics by storm is Lindsey Vonn. Lindsey Vonn, a Olympic legend, United States legend, crashed during the World Cup of alpine skiing and got hurt. And it was like, okay, she's hurt. She's just a little banged up and she's going to be able to go. That was kind of the storyline going in. And it was like, all right, veteran at her craft, one of a multi-time gold medalist. All right, just a little injured. She should be able to go. Well, they announced that she has a ruptured ACL, and it's like, but she's still going to compete.
I don't want to watch this one.
And
it makes me nervous.
So she posted a video today of her working out. She looked perfectly fine.
She was squatting, yeah.
Perfectly fine. A ruptured, imagine you coming to work with a ruptured ACL and just acting like, obviously Lindsey Vonn is doing something a little bit more athletic. A little bit, I mean, a lot. Very, I could not do that.
No, I couldn't either.
coming to work and having to be on a ruptured ACL and just act like everything's all right in the world. I can't imagine the pain and all that. But if you're a freak athlete, I don't know. That's Sunday before the Super Bowl. There's practice going on tomorrow, Saturday, and she'll compete on Sunday morning. So that'll be probably a topic before the Super Bowl gets in because she is an American icon.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. Obviously, the aid that they have now, the drugs that they use, legal, that she's getting treatment. I hope, I'd imagine some of it's kind of numbing the pain so she doesn't feel it as much. Some of it trying to help speed up that I don't know how that's even possible, but what just kind of scares me, you get an injury like that where it's ruptured. Now when you're going downhill, and I was talking to Arden about this, when your knee twists just a little bit, that's when you really feel it. So if she's going downhill, and again, that's a lot of knees and hard braking, that's what makes me nervous. I hope she kills it and she wins gold, but I'd be lying to you if I said I'm not gonna be holding my breath.
She was saying how she wasn't confident going in, how it's going to affect her, but she said she's still going to go out there. It's a mental hurdle and a physical hurdle.
Yeah, I'd say
this was only also a week ago when this happened, when she ruptured her ACL. So this is it's not like it's it's been ruptured for a while and a week. I get sick for a week and it's the worst thing in the world for me. Same goes for you. It's I'm sick and it's terrible. A ruptured ACL and just going out there I'm going to give it my best shot and compete at the highest level. Insane. I'm excited to see that, just to see how she fares, because regardless of what she's doing, you're going out to represent your country and you have that on your back, that you have a ruptured ACL and you're still giving it a shot.
Yeah, that's awesome to see. There's not very, very, very few people would do that. That's like Kobe Bryant mentality.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Like rip my ACL, tear my ACL. Like I'll just go knock down I'll walk by myself with no help and knock down 2 free throws. Because like on a quick side note, just kind of show the toughness of like some of the differences in these athletes, like for Vaughn and Kobe. Like, did you hear Halliburton when he tore his ACL?
Yeah, because I was during the NBA Finals.
Yeah, and he was like, I wanted to do the Kobe and get up, and he's like, as soon as I got up, I was like, oh hell no. Like it's, some people kind of just like take it for granted, like wow, they're really tough. Like no, that is insane that she's willing to go out there and compete, because unless I'm just wrong, like I'm really doubtful that thing feels good.
I've never ruptured my ACL, and I hope I never do. And Lindsey Vaughn, we're cheering for you.
Oh yeah,
I'm
cheering for it.
I'm excited. That'll be Sunday before the Super Bowl. So we're gonna go to break. Harrison's gonna get out of here on this night. You still got another hour with me here on The Ticket. We'll be right back here with Late Night Lincoln on 93% The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com after all these years.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first. Now is the time to get a glimpse into living and learning at Doane University through a personalized in-person or virtual visit. We know once you experience Doane, you'll see why it's a place where you can achieve your goals and shape your future. Schedule your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Flowers and chocolate are great for Valentine's Day, but you know what really earns you bonus points? A massage. No, not from you, but from the professionals at The Body Shop. Now is the time to purchase a gift certificate for your significant other to make sure you're the big winner this Valentine's Day. Go to thebodyshoplincoln.com and select from their wide variety of specific massages. Once you've purchased, you can either print out the certificate or email it to the lucky recipient. Do Valentine's Day right this year with a massage from The Body Shop, right behind Eyeglass World at 56th and O.
Stop asking your friends if they're hosting a party this Sunday and come join the real party instead. Join 93.7 The Ticket for the Super Bowl at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O this Sunday and walk away with great prizes just for showing up. Why worry about making a great spread of foods for the game at your house when you can enjoy all the great wings and more at Buffalo Wings and Rings? It's the Super Bowl party with 93.7 The Ticket at Buffalo Wings and Rings this Sunday at 68th and O.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
Every winter, I struggle with feeling sluggish and down. I've read about the benefits of red light systems, but trying the Spectrum 7 at MaxTan has become my bright spot. A few sessions of full-body red light, and I'm more energized and centered. It's my go-to winter boost, MaxTan.
Most resolutions for the new year fail before January is even over. Why not resolve to just be a little bit cleaner in 2026? Nebraska Auto Detail is here for you. Now through March 30th, if you purchase a ceramic coating, you'll get a free interior detail. There's no better way to start your year than taking care of your car and decluttering the mess that it becomes so easily. Book your detail today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call Joe and the team at 402-601-5086.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket Sports News go now.
This is Nick Whyman with your sports update. The number 9 ranked Nebraska softball team opens its 2026 campaign at Roadrunner Field in San Antonio, Texas at the UTSA Invitational this weekend. The Cornhuskers will play 5 games over the course of 3 days, including 2 games on Friday, 2 games on Saturday, and 1 game on Sunday. On Friday, February 6th, Nebraska softball plays Washington at 1 p.m. and number 1 ranked Texas at 6 p.m. Both of those games can be seen on ESPN+. 5 individuals will make up the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026. Those 5 members of the class of 2026 are Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and Roger Craig. The 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival is scheduled for August 6th through the 9th in Canton, Ohio. The San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams will play the first NFL regular season game in Melbourne, Australia during the 2026 season. The game will be played at the iconic Melbourne Cricket Ground and will be the first NFL game played in Australia. The game will be one of 9 international games played during the 2026 season. The NFL will also play games in cities like Paris, Madrid, Mexico City, and London. And for all the latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's been a busy day in sports. A lot has happened while you were up to your eyeballs in work. Catch up on what went down in Nebraska athletics, college sports, and your favorite pro sports leagues. This is Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Sponsored by Canopy Street Market. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
And we're back, hour 2, Late Night in Lincoln with Nick Whyman. Thank you, Harrison, for your 60 minutes of appreciation. As always, grateful. Well, we talked about a lot in that first hour. There was a lot to get to, a lot going on, not only with the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots, but Nebraska. We went through that schedule slate for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. An action-packed week of Cornhusker sports, from basketball to gymnastics to wrestling on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Final home duel for them against Northwestern. And then Nebraska softball begins their season, tees off their season tomorrow out in San Antonio with some marquee games. I'm very excited for the baseball and softball season, and it felt like baseball and softball season weather here in Lincoln. We have not had a day like this in quite some time. It feels like most of the time it was freezing cold above. I mean, a couple of weeks ago we had snow on the ground, and now it's all pretty much melted. It was awesome today. Awesome weather today, and I'm glad we've seen so many people walk by throughout the day, especially tonight. There's still a lot of people in downtown Lincoln here off 1040 O Street going around town and enjoying themselves because it's not freezing cold, not single digits or below 0 temperatures like it has been. And it's looking like a good day tomorrow too as well. So 402-464-5685, the Starter Heyman Julius text line. We had a lot of fun last night, about 24 hours ago, when Portland beat Gonzaga. Let's keep it going. We just talked Super Bowl, Nebraska sports in general, and a little bit of a couple bullet points across the Winter Olympics as the games have just sort of picked up. Only a handful of games have started with curling and hockey preliminary round matches. But there's still a lot else going on in the sports world. The NBA trade deadline, we'll get into a little bit in the back half of this half hour. But the NFL Hall of Fame class is the news that broke a couple minutes ago. There are a couple other things. The NFL honors came out. Jackson Smith and Ajigba, Offensive Player of the Year and MVP. We talked about him early in the first hour. Matthew Stafford wins MVP. That's cool to see. Matthew Stafford, a guy who's won a Super Bowl, went through with Detroit, put up some numbers there with guys like Calvin Johnson. And here he is, MVP, being able to collect that and add to his resume. Obviously came up short against Seattle, but ends with an MVP honor for the former Georgia Bulldog, Matthew Stafford. Former number 1 pick as well. So with that, the NFL Hall of Fame class as well was kind of the big announcement that happened earlier today. The Pro Football Hall of Fame class, 5 members for 2026. Familiar names on the list, one especially for Nebraska fans, but a lot of familiar names to a lot of us who are just diehard football fans in general. You've probably heard of a lot of these names. We'll start at the quarterback position. Drew Brees is going to the Hall of Fame. Played 4 years with the San Diego Chargers. Yes, the San Diego Chargers. I did see the San Diego Chargers growing up, but Los Angeles Chargers now, and then with the Saints for most of his career from 2006 to 2020. I mean, he kind of made it when people wanted quarterbacks to be tall. Basically a pocket passer that was only 6 foot, 209 pounds. A very undersized quarterback that was a pocket passer, and he was able to make that kind of a thing. There were quarterbacks before him with that kind of stature that weren't, 6'4", 250 pounds or whatever. But this guy, was be able to read defenses and be able to complete passes and be able to throw for 300 plus yards a game and multiple touchdowns and lead his team. He's a Super Bowl champion. What is there to say? Drew Brees, rightfully so, should be in the Hall of Fame, and he is the quarterback going in this class. New Orleans Saints, since he left in 2020 and retired, haven't really had a quarterback in there that has been able to kind of fill that role and make the Saints. They had Jameis Winston, they had Derek Carr. Derek Carr, I think, is a little underappreciated for what he has done, not only when he was with the Raiders, but also with the Saints for those couple of years, obviously retiring last offseason. But Drew Brees kind of put the standard for what New Orleans wanted in these 2000s and 2010s and 2020s. And that is going into the Hall of Fame, and rightfully so. He's one of the names of the 5 going in the 2026 class. Alongside him, Larry Fitzgerald, wide receiver, Arizona Cardinals, 2004 to 2020. It's cool that both those guys kind of went out in the same years with their respective teams. They were there for over 10 years with each franchise. Larry Fitzgerald was drafted 3rd overall out of Pitt to Arizona. 17 years. He was just consistent, I would say, very consistent during his time in the NFL. Played for one team, and he was just consistent, I would say. Trying to think of some words also describe him. Durable. He was just always healthy, being able to put up numbers with, regardless of who the quarterback was throwing him the ball. He was able to stay healthy, make plays. I'm trying to think of another word to kind of describe this guy. Explosive, because he was be able to put up numbers, and he had a long list of quarterbacks during his. He had Kurt Warner there when they went to the Super Bowl that one year. But there's a long line of guys like Derek Anderson, Ryan Lindley. I'm naming Kevin Kolb was there for a bit. He had Kyler Murray for only a couple of years. But there was a couple of years ago where the Cardinals just didn't have, they had just an altering rotation of quarterbacks. And that's just what's kind of, and regardless of who was throwing him the ball, Larry Fitzgerald was able to make plays. I'm going to look at some of these names while we're sitting here, because somebody was asking, name some of these Cardinals quarterbacks who threw passes to Larry Fitzgerald over his NFL career. I have the list in front of me. There is a long list of names who have thrown passes to Larry Fitzgerald. It'd be nice if I had a graphic of all the names, but I will read off a couple of them and see these names that Larry Fitzgerald caught passes from said quarterbacks: Josh McCown, Sean King, Kurt Warner, Matt Leinart in 2007, played a couple of games there. Derek Anderson, as I named off the top of my head, played for the Cleveland Browns as well. John Skelton, Max Hall, he played at BYU. How I remember him. John Skelton played at Fordham, I believe. Yes, he did. He was a draft pick then. Kevin Call, but he was with the Eagles for a little bit. He's another player that caught passes through passes, to Larry Fitzgerald. Ryan Lindley, as mentioned. Brian Hoyer for a game. Carson Palmer. Drew Stanton. There's a long list of names. Blaine Gabbert. Josh Rosen. Sam Bradford. Kyler Murray. Colt McCoy. David Blau. Trace McSorley. Or some of those are the ones afterwards. But there are a handful of quarterbacks that have thrown passes to Larry Fitzgerald from throughout his entire tenure. He had probably, 15, 16 quarterbacks, and he would still be able to produce regardless of who was back there. He'd be able to make catches. He was an explosive player. He was durable, regardless of the year. And Larry Fitzgerald going into the Hall of Fame at the same year as Drew Brees, which is kind of cool to see because both those guys went out in 2020. Another guy, he didn't play a long time, but he had a quality NFL career. Linebacker Luke Kuechly with the Carolina Panthers, an 8-year career. Not a very long stretch. You see guys who play 15 through 20 years in sports. Luke Kuechly retired at a young age for how professional sports work. And he was he was one of the best linebackers in the league, defensive player of the year in 2013, which was only his second year in the league. He was on another level as his time in Carolina. 2012 to 2019 for Luke Kuechly. That's a very, very small portion of his career, but he was able to produce and rack up awards, honors, and be able to make a name for himself. Guy had over 100, at least 100 tackles in all eight of his seasons. He led the league in tackles twice in those 8 years. It was be able to stomp out a career. So we talked about offensive guys, quarterback, wide receiver. Now we talked about defensive guy, linebacker. We're saving one for last for obvious reasons. Adam Vinatieri, kicker. Adam Vinatieri, I don't remember him as a Patriot, but he was a Patriot for a long time. He made some excellent kicks during his time with the Patriots. A lot of them have come, if you watch a lot of the NFL films, you'll be able to see a lot of the kicks he made as a Patriot, but most of the time from 1996 to 2005 with the Patriots, from 2006 to 2019 with the Indianapolis Colts. Adam Vinatieri, he's one of the first kickers I remember seeing growing up, and he was like automatic with his kicks, and he was kicking at a high rate regardless of his age and regardless of how many years. 29 game-winning field goals, including a record 10 in overtime. Holds the NFL postseason records for most points, 238. Most field goal attempts, 69. And most made field goals with 56 because he was always on it. He was a offense, defense on whatever team he played for. There's always the third phase of the game, special teams. And he always helped those Patriots and Colts teams elevate to another level with how he, offense stalls. You have to kick a field goal. He was automatic. He was able to kick and able to rise to the occasion for those Patriots and Colts teams. It's Adam Vinatieri, Hall of Famer, kicker. And that's four of the guys mentioned. Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri. The last one on the list, kind of long overdue, you could say, for Roger Craig, former Husker, 6th Nebraska player to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Played for the 49ers from 1983 to 1990. Spent a year with the Raiders in 91 and then finished out his career with the Vikings in 1993. His Raiders and Vikings tenure, the numbers went down, but his 49ers, the body of work he had was so strong that rightfully so deserved to be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. We're here, 92.7 The Ticket, late night Lincoln, Nick Whyman here, 402-464-5685. We're talking about the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026 as Husker Roger Craig into the Hall of Fame. It felt in due time that it was bound to happen, and now it has happened. He's going in with a very, very fun and entertaining class of players. And the time came, it took a while, but he goes in with a really solid class of guys who, it's a very, guys who I remember from growing up, guys everybody remembered a couple of years ago playing, a handful of years ago playing. Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly were just a couple of years ago. Adam Vinatieri, a couple of years ago, was playing. And Roger Craig is also going in, who a lot of people remember seeing, a Husker player going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 4-time Pro Bowl selection, played in 3 different Super Bowl winning teams with San Francisco. And he had a very interesting time because he was the first player in NFL history to rush for at least 1,000 yards and have at least 1,000 yards receiving in the same season. And at the time, he was playing like a hybrid kind of fullback running back position during his time there in the late 80s to 1990 with the 49ers. That's hard to do. And he was a winner. 3 Super Bowl winning teams in San Francisco during that time. And he was just able to do it at a high rate. He was just hauling in passes and running the ball at a high rate. And you're doing that over 1,000 yards in a season, rushing and receiving out of the backfield. That is very tough to do. Not only then, but probably, obviously, in today's day and age of football. Receiving backs, there's only a couple you can count on your hand that you see who can do that at the rushing and receiving at the same time. He did it, one of the best to do it in both those. It's cool to see finally, because the good things happen to those who wait. And he had to wait. And he finally goes in, and he's the 6th Husker to ever do it and be able to do it. He was named the 1980s All-Decade Team and has made the postseason every season of his career. Until his enshrinement, he was the only running back who was either the 1970s, 80s, or 90s All-Decade teams who was not in the Hall of Fame. That's a stat that just kind of blows my mind, because of all the players on the All-Decade team of those 3 decades, 1970, 1980s, or the 1990s All-Decade teams who had not yet to make the Hall of Fame, and now he is. Heading to the Hall of Fame with Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri. I'll read them again. There are now 6 Nebraska players to be inducted, or going to be inducted, because Roger Craig will be inducted August 6th through the 9th in August, later this summer, to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. He'll be enshrined as the 6th Husker. The other 5 are Guy the Champ Chamberlain, Roy Link Lyman, Bob Boomer Brown, Will Shields, and Mick Tingelhoff. And now you add Roger Craig to that list of very talented football players. A lot of really good stories there. Guy Chamberlain, I've heard a lot about. Just being here, I've heard a lot of really cool stories about his career. Maybe it's something we'll dive into next week. We can talk about each of the 6 players, the Huskers in the Hall of Fame. We can dive into kind of who they were and how their careers went about. Maybe we can do one a day, and we can do a little history about each of those 6 players and just kind of who they are, why they're in the Hall of Fame, and what made their careers so memorable. We'll keep that posted for another day, just so we can get a little bit more prep and learn these careers, because they are stories that need to be told. Some of those guys have really cool stories and memorable moments, and there's a reason they're in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and all 6 of them, all former Huskers, being in there, rightfully so. That's one of the topics I wanted to talk about this first hour. The other one is the NBA trade deadline. We can go over a little bit about this. We can maybe trickle into the next segment a little bit as well, because I covered the Pro Football Hall of Fame a little bit. When I'm cherishing back on history, it's really cool to see, and I kind of go down memory lane, and we get to see a lot of the names that I and everybody kind of grew up on, or I've seen in pro football, and you see all those names, and you see and you want to learn more about them and hear their stories and how they came to this excellence and being able to be accepted into this role. And that's something that Harrison and I could probably talk about for a long time on one of these nights.
And we'll have to dabble with that with the Huskers because each of those guys has a story behind their illustrious careers. And with that, the NBA trade deadline, moving topics here. We left last night. We had a trade literally during the show. Kristaps Porzingis was probably one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name to be traded during the deadline. Ends up going to the Warriors. Warriors not landing Giannis. No Giannis in general, but they get him for Buddy Hield and Jonathan Kuminga. That was probably the biggest trade. There are about 9 or 10 trades today, too. Some mini ones, some interesting ones. The Lakers added Luke Kennard from the Hawks for Gabe Vincent and 2032 second-round pick. Lakers were looking for shooting in some shape or form, and they got in Luke Kennard, who has been in the made his worth in the league, and that is what he has been known to do, is to be a 3-and-D guy and be able to knock down a big three when needed it and play some good defense on the other end. He has kind of been the guy to do that for several different franchises throughout his NBA career, and he'll be heading to the Lakers to try to help them make a little bit of a push in the playoffs because the Lakers, they kind of need that other hand besides Luka and LeBron. DeAndre Ayton's had a couple of games where he's been able to establish himself, but outside of that, the Lakers right now in the 6th spot, creeping towards the play-in, actually. They are tied with their Suns right now, 30-19. Suns right behind them. So Lakers need something to get a little bit of a push and be able to keep up the shooting at a high rate, and they bring in a guy like Luke Kennard to do that. A couple other big ones. The Bucks did make a trade today. Nothing with Giannis. The big talking point isn't even the trades today in the NBA. The big talking point today would be Giannis not moving and what's the next steps for the Bucks. And then you have John Morant, who did not get moved either, while Jaren Jackson Jr. and 3 other players from the said Grizzlies teams got dealt to the Utah Jazz. The topic of discussion will be this summer for both those two franchises about what they do. That question, I don't know. It'll be interesting to follow the Giannis Antetokounmpo summer story because it seems like he wants to stay and be a lifer. As a lot of people assumed he would be with Milwaukee after he won a championship with that franchise. But now some people are saying they might shut him down for the year just so he doesn't get hurt, which is a really weird thing to do, especially when you have 13, 14 other guys in that locker room trying to get out there. But that's the Bucks' choice. We don't run that choice. That is the Bucks' choice and Giannis' choice after all. And then John Morant, his situation, who knows what happens with him as well. Those are the kind of the 2 dominoes people were looking to see fall, but neither one of them did. But the Bucks did make a trade. The Bucks got Nick Richards, Nigel Hayes, Davis, and the Suns get from the Bucks Cole Anthony, Amir Coffey, and then Nick Richards actually going to the Bulls in that trade. It has not been updated, but that is the trade. The Bucks do deal Cole Anthony. They do get Nigel Hayes Davis. The Bucks kind of going in. Their team has changed so much over time as well. If you look in the past couple of years, go back to that championship team, like Chris Middleton's gone, Drew Holiday's gone. There's so many names that are gone from that team. Bucks currently 20-29. They are 2.5 games out of the play-in spot behind the Charlotte Hornets, who are red hot and continue to win. 8 straight wins. 8 straight wins for the Charlotte Hornets with the New York Knicks. Another notable trades, there were a couple in Zubac to the Pacers with Kobe Brown, Benedict Mathurin to the Clippers, and picks and Isaiah Jackson. Wasn't really the biggest trade deadline. Usually we see a couple names that get dealt that are kind of a big one. All-star perennial players. Kristaps Porzingis, a one-time all-star. He's had battled injuries his entire career, but the Warriors bring him in, and they are locked in on maybe having him help. James Harden, obviously, going to Cleveland is probably the biggest one, I would say. That one really kind of sparked this trade deadline. And now you have him in Cleveland trying to have a pursuit of a championship alongside Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. That one will be the one to watch. There's always shakeups in the NBA trade deadline. It's always going to be that way, especially when superstars either want to ask out or teams kind of blindside you like the Luka Doncic trade. We didn't have a Luka this year. That one still blew everybody's mind, but that was the NBA trade deadline. The NFL Hall of Fame, the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame, 5 members going in. Now 6 Huskers are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and 5 members of the class of 2026. Congratulations to those guys. A lot of them I remember seeing play and have heard their stories and have seen the NFL films and a lot of all that. So when we come back, we're going to take a little deep dive. The opening ceremonies for the Winter Olympics are tomorrow. We can dive into some what to watch for this weekend as those pick up, because there is the Super Bowl, but also the Winter Olympics are kind of kicking in the high gear. There's events that happened before the opening ceremonies, which is kind of weird. I feel like the opening ceremonies, people remember, it's like, okay, now the games begin. But no, there's some events that happened before, and now there's a full weekend slate of games, events, and gold medals will start be given out this weekend. We'll dive into some of those, what to watch for, and some storylines to go through. And then we'll send you into Friday as a jam-packed week of Husker sports is coming up. We'll be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
It's the two-fingered wave on a gravel road. It's letting the kids take dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Stop into Zollner Ford Beatrice and check out a brand new 2026 Ford Explorer for only $39,995. That's right, under $40,000 for a brand new Explorer, loaded with extras like Copilot 360, second row captain's chairs, and more. With approved credit, receive financing as low as 2.9%. Treat mom to a new Explorer for Valentine's Day this year from Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect. MSRP $45,175.
Winter is upon us. Is your home prepared? If your furnace isn't keeping up or you've thought about replacing it, John Henry's has a new year, new unit special. When you purchase a select heating and cooling system from John Henry's, we will give you the furnace for free. There are also equipment and LES rebates up to an additional $850. This offer expires February 28th, so don't miss out. Find out more at jhlincoln.com or give
John Henry's
a call or text today.
435-5555.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Führer's cheese spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Lincoln's Coffee Week is now Coffee Month in February. With 25 participating venues, visit and check into at least 10 for a chance to win a $250 gift card to the venue of your choice. More details at lincoln.org/coffee-month, brought to you by Visit Lincoln.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
Welcome back, Late Night in Lincoln with Nick Whyman, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Also, if you're watching on Facebook, X, YouTube, or on channel Allo channel 961. Oof, mouthful. 402-464-5685, the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. We talked about a lot. There's a lot going on in the sports world, and we've talked about the Super Bowl coming up, Nebraska sports in general. There's a lot. You got basketball, gymnastics, softball starting up. Softball, 2 ranked games tomorrow. Number 9, Nebraska against number 25, Washington at 1 o'clock. And then a couple hours later, 6 o'clock, the big one, top 10 matchup. Number 9, Nebraska against number 1, Texas. In an old Big 12 showdown down in the UTSA Softball Invitational in San Antonio. Fun time. I'm excited when softball and baseball start creeping around. The weather starts to get a little nicer. Sun stays up a little later. It's becoming a fun time. Once again, Late Night Lincoln, if you're watching on Facebook, X, YouTube, or Allo, channel 961, chime in with the show. We've talked about a lot, and you are the reason I'm here. We drive the show. You're here to listen. We're here to have a conversation. It's you and me. You can see me, but I'm here to listen to you. And you're somebody to talk to. If you need somebody to talk to, I got you. And last night we had a lot of fun. Last night was one of my favorite nights I've had so far in the Late Night Lincoln window. And it was awesome. People from Portland chiming in. Man, that was, I get the time difference. It's 11 o'clock here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And then Portland, got your biggest win. 9 o'clock there. Game just got over. That was awesome. Crazy connection. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And to be able to give a little West Coast Conference post game, essentially, is what we kind of turned into for about a half hour. But it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I'm glad everybody else was on board. But Winter Olympics, I'm a big Olympics person. I really like enjoying them every 4 years for when the summer and winter come around, every 2 years, as that's how they alternate. Winter Olympics here are 2026. Opening ceremonies are tomorrow. If you want to catch that, that is tomorrow afternoon. Live, it'll be around 1 o'clock Central Time. But there obviously will be a replay of it due to the time difference in Milan. In prime time on television here. But it is weird, though. Like, some people have asked me, like, oh, the Olympics have already kind of started. I'm like, yeah, it's a usual thing. They usually play a handful of events before the games get going due to there's just so much going on. You can't fit it all into 2 weeks. You have to start. The summer does the same thing. They start preliminary with a couple of events to get the group stage events going, to be able to fit it all in that 14, 15-day window. Which I do find, I do see why it's a little odd, because you think opening ceremonies, this is like, oh, this is the gathering to begin the Olympics. But they do have events before. It kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I get why they do it logistically, because it's impossible to put together, especially with, we talked about the Canada-Finland situation where the Finland women's hockey team could not play their match today because they are with the norovirus. So they are currently in MIA trying to they're getting that game rescheduled a week from now, and then they're going to play possibly as early as Saturday, but we'll know more about that as tomorrow morning rolls around. Kind of a storyline to watch. There is a lot of storylines. We went over little quick notes at the top before the top of the hour, about a half an hour ago, but there's a lot going on, especially with the opening ceremonies tomorrow afternoon. There is stuff going on here. It is 11:36 here in the capital city. On the East Coast, it's already 12:30, past 12:30. Usually, you're settling down to go to bed if you're, settling in on your Friday night. However, there are some events starting in a matter of hours because of the time difference, obviously, and that's just how it is. And I like that. Sports are going on all the time. We had a little bit of it with the Australian Open. The Australian Tennis Open went on for the last 2 weeks prior to this week, and tennis would start around 7, 8 o'clock here in Nebraska, and then you'd have it go on until about 5 o'clock in the morning. Something's always going on in the sports world. You just have to find it. And the Olympics are a draw by themselves. They always will be. But they just wrapped up earlier today. Curling and ice hockey is kind of the main events. Snowboarding, they had a couple of qualification events going on. But at 2:55 a.m. Central Time, you can watch figure skating live on TV. Team event Rhythm Dance will be the first event to kick off Friday in the Olympics. I need to know more about my figure skating. I see it's one of the more popular events. I just don't know the scoring system, and I would like to know. Because I can't skate. I can't skate a lot. It's a tough thing. I would say it's easy, but it's not. It's an Olympic sport. Olympic sports are hard. Sports are hard in general. But as that's going on at 3 o'clock in the morning, you get the curling preliminary round matches again. Quad box. Actually, there's only 3 of them going on at once. There is one that really catches my eye looking at it. Mixed doubles. You have Italy, Switzerland, you have Sweden, Great Britain, and then the main event, I would say, of the overnight in the United States hours, mixed curling at 3 o'clock. You have the United States and Canada in curling. That rivalry, the United States and Canada, is always kind of like a little bit of rivalry when the Winter Olympics come around. Obviously, with hockey, for obvious reasons. And now you're getting mixed curling right away, and that's right down your alley. Get that right off the bat. I like it. Other things going on down the line here. You look real quick. You got figure skating as well. More ice hockey preliminary rounds. They had half the group play today. USA being one. USA beat Czechia. USA looked really good. They played this morning at 9:40 in the morning. USA getting that win. We can talk a little about that game because hockey is kind of the main sport that people kind of dive into. I mean, obviously there's luge, there's curling, bobsled, speed skating, figure skating, you name it. There are so many Olympic sports, but hockey's kind of the one that people kind of lean on because the NHL goes on here in the United States, and you're able to see hockey on a daily basis. But USA jumped out to an early lead in that one. Alex Carpenter had the goal to start it off and get the USA rolling in the first period against Czechia, which is Czech Republic. I will say, I'll make a clarification. They want to be called Czechia. That is what they are listed on the Olympic website. So I call them Czechia. It's what they want to be called. It's like if I wanted to be called Nicholas, I want to be called Nick. That's just how it is. But Alex Carpenter had the goal to begin. Hillary Knight has been a long time women's hockey part of the Olympic team. She got a goal as well. And USA, Joy Dunn also had one as well. So they really spread it across the table for them in that 5-1 win. They did allow a goal, but a 5-1 win is a pretty commanding win, and they cruised to a win to start preliminary play in their group. Looking down, fun fact, this is USA is now 8-0 all-time against the Czechs in international play. So USA has never lost to them. But USA, there was some history to go with this too. Aliyah Edwards had an assist while becoming the first black female to represent America in hockey at the Olympics. So there are a lot of really cool stories. That's what I like most about the Olympics is you hear a lot of the stories about these athletes that you hear, and there's a lot of history that goes into it. You go back to the beginning of the Olympics to now, there are so many stories, and like Aliyah Edwards, that's awesome to see and be able to make that moment. And it's not over yet. That's just one match, and be able to USA to win 5-1 and get that win. And now they're moving on. They get a day off, but It's group play. They still have much more matches. They could lose a match before then. It's not like a knockout stage. To break it down, there's Group A and Group B. There's 5 teams in each group. And after they seed them, they move them to the quarterfinals, semis, and then the gold medal match or the bronze medal match. There is a third place, which is the bronze medal match, because they have to decide a medal. So that is the women's preliminary bracket. USA has Finland on Saturday. Puck drop scheduled for 9:40 Central Time. As of right now, I don't know what the deal with the Finland kind of being in quarantine due to the norovirus. But as of right now, that match is on. I am going to double check right now. But as of right now, that match is scheduled to play despite that outbreak. I'm looking to see if there was an announcement posted at all, because Thursday's preliminary match versus Canada was postponed, obviously. That match being moved to Thursday, February 12th. So they're going to try to play that match on like an off day for everybody else in the preliminary group to try to match it up correctly, because the knockout stage starts. So they'll have additional days of rest and recover just to be able to get that game in. Reschedule really throws it off, because now you have a team that's in a break. Canada's obviously defending champions as well, and Finland was a bronze medalist in 2022. And they're both in the same group in the preliminary round robin group stage, whatever you want to call it, play, alongside USA, Czechia, and Switzerland. So that whole group gets kind of thrown off because of this whole predicament. And Canada looking to play, they didn't get to. And now Finland is just kind of waiting. And because of the game now being pushed before the game was rescheduled, Canada and Finland would have had like a 2-day break from February 10th to the quarterfinals on February 13th. But now there's no break. They'll have to play February 12th to decide the pairings in knockout stage and have to play a game next. It's just how it is, because there's only so many games you can play in amount of days, especially hockey, which is it's a tough sport. Rocky Russo and the guys, when they come in here on Tuesdays during Outside the Box, could tell you that it's a tough sport, and it's physically draining, mentally draining, and those guys do a great job, and enjoy hearing their stories across hockey as well. But over the weekend, the medals start coming out. The first medal event will be on Saturday morning. Alpine skiing, men's downhill, cross country skiing as well, and women's 10 kilometers. And it'll be there. And then throughout Sunday, you have snowboarding medals getting out already. Cross country skiing coming out on Sunday. There is a lot going on in the schedules, and it hits the ground running really after tomorrow. There's just a couple events in the morning to before the ceremonies, and the ceremonies the opening ceremonies take center stage at 1:00 Central Time, and then Saturday really hits the ground running for the next about 2 weeks. So it's a fun time. I enjoy it. It adds a little layer to the sports world. You have college basketball mixed in there, you have the Super Bowl, and you have the Olympics. It's a very stacked slate of events going on across not just the United States, but also the world. And everybody comes together, and you get to learn those stories, like Lai Edwards, I said. It's fun to see. It's awesome to hear those stories and be able to kind of see them take center stage and represent your country as a whole. So we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to kind of wrap the show, give some plugs to a couple things that are really happening. They're really cool happening here around the ticket. Especially there was a remote tomorrow, and then we have a couple post-match and post-game shows coming up over the weekend. Give you times, dates for those when we come back, and send you into your Friday here on 93.7 The Ticket, Late Night Lincoln with Nick Whyman.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SartorHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get?
Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
The Black Crows are coming to Pinewood Bowl on Tuesday, August 4th, and we want to give you the chance to win free tickets. Tune in all week long for chances to win a pair of tickets each day on The Drive with me, Nick Sainert, and Aaron Davis this week only.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the top-selling Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to help blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide smooth energy so you can cruise through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Hey guys, it's Austin Orman. Join me and former Husker Jay Foreman this Friday, February 6th for Old School, live from Back 9 Golf, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Roads in South Lincoln. We'll tell you all you need to know about the premier indoor golf place in Lincoln while enjoying Friday afternoon action of the Waste Management Open. Stop by for giveaways, prizes, and a tour of the facility. We hope to see you there on Friday, February 6th, beginning at 3 p.m. for Old School, live from Back 9 Golf in South Lincoln.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Nick Whyman.
Welcome back, Late Night in Lincoln, final segment on this evening of
February 5th, 2026. We'll send you into your Friday. Real quick here on 937 Ticket and theticketfm.com. If you're watching on Facebook, X, Allo, Channel 961, or YouTube, I appreciate you. A little housekeeping. Obviously, we talked about the Super Bowl, Nebraska sports the week ahead. The next 72 hours are loaded with activities, not only at home or away. You should check them out if they're at home. Tennis included, tennis, gymnastics, wrestling on Sunday as well. NBA trade deadline, the NFL Hall of Fame class, Roger Craig being the sixth Husker to go in, and the Winter Olympics kicking in the high gear as well this weekend. Remember, Nebraska softball, 1 o'clock tomorrow, Washington, 6 o'clock against Texas. 2 top 25 matchups that are really fun to watch and should be entertaining as the season goes by. A little housekeeping. Remind you, tomorrow, Old School will be live from Back Nine Golf tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Go hang out with the guys out there. Austin and Jay will be out there. Mike Smith will be here tomorrow, first Sunday, Culture and Coffee. A lot of fun time. Bowie Boys will also be here, it sounds like. A couple Husker baseball players. Should be a fun time around here on 1040 O Street. Along with that, as always, check out Saturday around 1 o'clock. We'll have post-game basketball coverage of the men as they play up in Piscataway against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Right after the final buzzer, you can check in. I will be here. Austin Norman will be here. Tristan Gomez will be here in some shape or form. We will be here to bring you all the coverage on that. Along with that, on Sunday, Nebraska Wrestling will have their final home duel against Northwestern, number 5 Nebraska. They will be having that duel at 1. So post-match coverage should be around 3 o'clock. And hey, the Super Bowl will be right before the Super Bowl. If you want to catch some wrestling, there'll be a lot to go on there as Nebraska has their final home duel, senior day for the Cornhuskers as they go out before they hit the little road trip to close out conference play and face Utah Valley as the Big Ten tournament quickly approaches in about a month. Big Ten wrestling tournament should be a really fun time. A lot of ranked matchups, a lot of really good matchups to watch. That will be worth tuning in for. That is all I got for you this Thursday night. Thank you for riding with me. Early break, 6 o'clock. Like I said, Back Nine Golf tomorrow for Old School with Austin and Jay Foreman. Will be a fun time. I'll see you guys on the other side. Have a great Thursday night and Friday morning. Early break, 6 o'clock here on 90.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Starter